Hello, Dgens. Welcome to Degenerate Takes. I, of course, am the perfect one, AJ. Happy Friday, Halloween, October 31st, 2025. Hope you're having a great day. Hope you're ready for a great weekend. And a happy Halloween to everybody. It's going to be a fun night, ain't it? It is going to be a fun night. We have a lot to talk about today. $2 billion, damn near monopolistic companies are having a petty battle, and the consumers are caught in between. We'll get to that probably first. You've got fallout from Thursday night football with some people being removed. World Series Game 6, do or die for the Dodgers tonight, along with a little bit of everything else. Because, we got to talk about some gambling with the NBA and NCAA. So we'll get to all of that and more before I go any further. I do just want to take a moment. Shout out to everyone watching here on Rumble, over on YouTube and X. Y'all are the best. If you like what we're cooking, please hit those like buttons, hit the follow buttons. It does help out a lot more than you know. But there we go. Sorry, pressing the wrong buttons. But I do want to go ahead and get started with something that obviously affects me pretty straightforward, and I think affects a lot of people. And it is something that I think we are seeing more and more with sports fandom being affected by than other streams of entertainment. Let's go ahead and wrap this all up. I'm talking about the ongoing blackout uh, TV right dispute between ESPN, Disney Corporation, and YouTube TV slash Google. Essentially, what has come to light is that we're at this time of the year where people want to negotiate. YouTube TV just went through this with Fox and a couple of other Fox networks, NBC networks, and now Disney's coming to them and saying, "Hey, listen, we want more money. We want more money. We want you to charge. We want to charge you more money for all of these rights, including the sports, including ABC, ESPN, all of our Disney rights, etc., etc., etc." And YouTube TV at some points like, guys, why? No, we're not going to do this. And again, there's only so many reports coming out about this. This is just kind of where my head's at of where things are. And so you've got these two giants in this industry, and they both want the same thing. They both want these sports. One of them that owns the sports and the rights to the sports to show the sports on their networks is saying, no, if you want to see our sports, you're going to have to either come to us or your TV provider is going to have to divvy up a lot of funds, and then that's going to trickle down to the consumer. But it's a very long-winded answer of saying $2 billion companies, two different billion-dollar companies, having an argument with each other on who should pay who. And it's coming to the point now where we are, God, less than 24 hours away from college football Saturday, and hundreds of thousands of people that have YouTube TV and only have YouTube TV are going to be without, watching their favorite college team, watching game day, watching whatever else they want to watch. And it's, oh man, this is such an interesting position we're in right now when it comes to streaming, when it comes to sports, when it comes to TV rights and everything. Because let's take a look at just Disney for a moment, ESPN, ABC, etc. Um, if you look at what Disney has done pre-COVID, post-COVID, and where they're at now, it's not looking good. And this is coming from someone who has worked with Disney before, who has been on the payroll for Disney, and I get it. Okay, let me just say that I get it. Okay, and nothing is going right for Disney right now. Every movie they put out has been a flop. TV shows are getting canceled left, right, and center. No one is really interested in what they're putting out, except for one thing. What is the one thing that is keeping this whole thing afloat? That's really the only thing worth a damn in their TV catalog right now, and that is the live sports race. That is the Monday Night Football. That is the NCC network. That is the ACC network. That is et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Not only that, you go ahead and throw in NBA on some nights because you got those whole streaming issues. The only thing really worth half a damn that's working for Disney right now is ESPN, is the sports branch. And that used to not be the case a couple of years ago. A couple of years ago, we were talking about, well, is Disney going to package ESPN and sell it off? That's where the conversation was. And now we're going through kind of this renaissance. I'm tempted to say renaissance, but I'm still not all the way there with a lot of their content that ESPN is producing. With that being said, though, they have all of the live sports. They do, and so you take ESPN out of ESPN, ABC, et cetera, out of YouTube TV. I mean, you're removing a good chunk of sports, and I'm talking a little bit more than of your sports offerings per week. And the content of set aside the sports shows and everything like that, all that aside, because you can still access a lot of that on YouTube, except whatever. But it's the live sports that's keeping it alive, and that's really what they had the chokehold on. If it was just if this was TLC and they're like, you can't watch, whatever. It's like, okay, we still have live sports. We're fine. We're not too worried about it. And again, I'm very generalizing a lot there in that scenario, but live sports are king. Live sports have been king. That's why we've been seeing these TV renewals, these new TV deals just grow exponentially. That's why we see the NBA spread across every streaming service imaginable for the rest of this season and seasons to come. That's why if you want to watch a full football season, you have to buy all the streaming services because live sports are at such a premium. That is the one thing nowadays where people will sit down, tune in at the same time, and watch. And we don't have a lot of those. I hate. Like, I guess the best word I can say is communal events in the world that often anymore, and most of it does revolve around sports. I would say. Granted, every once in a while there is, you can talk Emmys, you can talk the award shows, et cetera, but still, live sports seem to be the thing that bring everybody together. You know what I mean? We talk about the Super Bowl. You're going to a Super Bowl party. You're being out there, and that's why those rights are so important. That's why whenever you see the ads for YouTube, contact your cable provider because you're going to lose your sports package. That's why that's out there, not, get your cable provider or else HGTV is going off the air and you're never going to get them again except for wherever. Sports are at such a premium that these companies are literally willing to hold the consumers hostage. And that's what it is. If we're going to be completely frank, and it was going to come to this at some point. It had to come to this at some point. You can't have all of these different hands in the pot and not have a breaking point, not sure a tipping point. And the tipping point was coming. The tipping point was coming. Yes. Are we going to bitch and moan about buying all these streaming services to watch our games, to watch our teams? Absolutely. But even though my Arizona Cardinals suck, you think I'm going to be missing Monday Night Football just because ESPN isn't on YouTube TV? You're out of your damn mind. And it's one of those very fickle things because they know they're at a point where it's like, well, these diehard fans, these people that cover sports, they're not going to go without. They're going to go find a different way. And you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I know Crack Streams is down, but I am sure there are 50 others that are just as good. Get me on a pirated site tomorrow. And I'm not joking, And it takes money out of absolutely nobody except the ads and the TV networks that sell those. But again, fuck them because that's why we're right here. Everyone wants more money. I get it. I get it. I want more money. Everyone wants more money. But when it's something that is as simple and as dumb as, well, we're going to hold ESPN rights because we want more money. Well, go fuck yourself. And it doesn't take a lot to connect the dots that ESPN is putting in such a stronghold position right now because they released their new months ago. And, if I was to be guessing, those numbers probably ain't doing too well. They probably thought they were going to get better numbers with the whole WWE deal and everything like that. And it's maybe not going out the way it is or the way they want it to. I think those numbers will increase going into WrestleMania season. So I don't know what ESPN is making such a big stance now. But again, this was going to happen eventually. And the amount of tweets, the amount of, posts and everything that I was seeing about, well, what the fuck's the point at this point? Why do I have all 9 streaming services or why do I have YouTube TV if, a company's just going to cut access because they want me to buy their app? Why wouldn't I just go back to cable? And I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. My wife and I just bought a house and, it was going to be all streaming all the time. But now that, we're going through this with YouTube TV and everything, I don't know if we're going to be going that way. I don't. And I don't know if I want to be paying cable. I sure as hell don't want to be paying those internets when Starlink's going to give me a cheaper deal. But we're at that point. Do I go cable? Do I keep the cord cut? I don't know. I don't know. Now, with all of that being said, am I counting out the fact that there might be an 11th hour deal 5 minutes before College Game Day goes on air? I'm not. not counting that possibility out. We've seen it, something like that happen in the past, but at the same time, it's so dumb. And it's just, um, what am I trying to say? I guess that's the hard part here because I don't know about you guys. I don't know about you guys. I have a day job. I like my day job. It's fine. It pays my bills, and that's what it does. I hope I do a good job, make everyone's life easier. That's all I'm. What do I really look forward to? I really look forward to being able to come home to my wife, make dinner, and watch a game, and not have to think too hard about watching a game because I just had to use all my brain for the last 8 hours to stay afloat at work. I want to come in, I want to turn on my TV, and I want to watch a game. And it's becoming so fucking hard to do that now. I gotta check. I gotta check. I gotta check Bleacher Report. I want to check ESPN on what channel it's going to be. And then if it is on ESPN, well, okay, is it on ESPN Plus? Is it on Hulu? Is it on? I can't. It is so hard to just sit down and watch a game. And then even let's just say for fun, you know what I mean? YouTube TV doesn't have a game. It's all this. The chances of it being your home state team or your school or whoever is so fucking slim at this point. Why does it matter? The regional sports networks going out of business is arguably the worst thing that could have happened to sports. And I guess not sports because the leagues are all loving all of these streaming deals and everything. It's the worst thing that could have happened to fans. It really is. The death of the regional sports network was the death of sports fans as we knew it. And now we as the fans have to bend over backwards to give our money to these leagues, to give our eyeballs to these leagues for our teams, for something that we enjoy. We have to break our back now and put in all of this extra work because everyone wants a little bit more money. And it's not like they weren't making a fuck ton of money to start, and again, I'm trying to pick my words carefully because, you ask and then you're going to get it. But like, I don't get why. Okay, let me go back. I think the MLB does it. And I know I'm a little all over the place here, but this is across so many different layers of issues. Like I don't MLB does it right. That is how you should be doing a streaming service for your league. And like Sunday Ticket, that is a legacy thing. I get it, it's fine, but like MLB.TV, MLB.com, whatever the hell you want to call it, they have it. You can buy just a season pass for your team. You can buy a year pass for your everyone, and it's up to you. And then you can increase it. You can add on other teams. You can do that. It's very customizable. Why is no other team league done? And again, the NFL different, but like the NHL, like I know, like my buddy's dad when we were growing up, he had the Red Wings jersey. That was it. He didn't have all of the games. He just had the Red Wings because you could do that because it made sense. And now again, due to the death of the regional sports networks, it's kaput. And yes, you do have your local TV broadcasts and stuff, but again, it's impossible to find. I'm on YouTube TV. I do not get the Arizona channels that have the deep. So I gotta go MLB. And again, AJ, why don't you just go back to cable at this point, right? Right? Why don't I just go back to cable? Why don't we all just go back to cable at this point? Seriously, I mean, I would be hard pressed now to find where all of your streaming services don't add up to what a cable does. And it's getting to that point. It really is. And the specialty content and everything, like, God, who cares? And again, it just feels like it's attacked sports more than any other, avenue of entertainment. Because Disney, whether it's Disney, whether it's NBC, whether it's Warner Brothers, whoever, they have their own home good networks. They have their own cooking channels. They have their own this and that. But sports rights are so hard pressed. And yes, they also, those streaming services also have some of their own sports stuff. But but they have sports content, but they don't have the game. And I'll be honest with you guys, and that's why we started this show 5 years ago. There's not a lot of good people out there doing this type of content. There's not. I can't remember the last time I've watched First Take. I can't remember the last time I watched anything on ESPN that wasn't Pat McAfee or a game or College Game Day. Shout out College Game Day. That is an institution that will watch this. But my point being, like, There's so many different avenues for just sports talk and content like that here on Rumble, YouTube, X, TikTok, literally anywhere you turn, you can find that content. You can't find the game. And that's where they get it. Do you want to watch the games? Because yeah, you can listen to AJ, Joe Schmo, Stephen A, all these people talk about the games and talk about highlights and talk about what teams need to do, et cetera, et cetera. But do you actually want to watch it? Okay, that's going to be $40 for our streaming service. That's going to be $50 for the streaming service. It's going to be $5.99 for the other streaming service. And I hate it because like I'm talking about it like I'm a schmuck, and I am a schmuck for doing this. I'm a schmuck for buying ESPN. I'm a schmuck for buying YouTube TV, Sunday ticket. I get it. Okay, I get it. They got a hold on me. Doesn't mean I'm not allowed to be pissed off about it. And being a sports fan it's a hobby. Being a fanatic is a hobby. Being a podcaster like this, at the end of the day, yes, I hope one day I get to do this for the rest of my life, and this is my job. That'd be the best thing in the world. But it's a hobby at the end of the day. I'm still going to be doing this even if I'm not making. And when it takes so much extra effort that a hobby turns into a job, like being a sports fan sometimes turns into a job because you got to research when the game's on, you got to research what channel it's going to be. I got to research if you have that pack, etc. Like it's just becoming so much work to be a fan, And then it trickles over to, well, go to the games. Fuck that. Fuck that. You kidding me? I'm going to pay $120 for a ticket, $50 in service fees, $50 for a parking spot, and $20 for a beer and $5 for a hot dog before I even sit down. Well, then just watch it at home. It just evens out to you're screwed either way. Going to a game, staying at home, watching a game. You're screwed. We're all screwed. And what's the answer? What's the answer? Because, okay, let's go ahead. Let's play this out. We all say, fuck it, we're going to cancel all of our streaming services with the games, and we're just going to go off pirates or whatever. Those pirate websites are going to shut down so fucking fast. And I know, one shuts down, five of them pop up, but you and I both know how hard it is to find a good streaming site that's going to stay up for a while and actually have the full game without crashing on you. We all know that challenge. But if that's what it's going to take at this point, we may have no other option. Because as it's sitting right now, 3:24 Pacific Standard Time, Halloween, it's not looking like we're getting any resolution. I'm double checking right now. Yeah, no, still nothing. And it's terrible. And it's terrible. And we probably won't get anything. And that is going to be, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Because either there's going to be a mass exodus from YouTube TV, or it's going to be a mass exodus from ESPN, or it's going to be a mass exodus from me. Or this whole ploy is going to work out by ESPN and their subscribers are going to go through the roof. I don't know, man. And maybe I'd be a little less pissed off with ESPN if I had a quad. You know what I mean? Like maybe it's that little change would fix all of this for me. Because it does piss me off. Like I want to watch hockey, like on a Tuesday night, I want to watch hockey. Okay, like the Frozen Frenzy, and all of the games were just on ESPN Plus. Sick, bro. And I can only watch one game at a time, or I gotta be on my computer and have multiple screens to watch the games I want to watch. You gotta be kidding me, bro. You gotta be kidding me. And that's why YouTube TV was so great with the quad box. And yes, I know about Fubu TV. I probably will end up with the Sling TV daily pass so I can get a quad box. But again, it's ridiculous that we're having to go through this as sports fans. And just because $2 billion companies want more money from each other. It's ridiculous. And no, I'm not going to take a side. I'm not going to be on YouTube TV. So I'm not going to be on Disney. So I'm on neither of their sides because right now they're both acting like toddlers who aren't getting their way. And it's disgusting. It's disgusting. And is this going to hit any years like that? Don't give a shit. They do not care. All they care about is the bottom line. And as a stockholder in both companies, let me tell you, figure this shit out, boys. Figure this shit out. Okay, because this ain't what stockholders want. Shocker, stockholders use your fucking products. Okay, and when you fuck consumers as consistently as both of you guys have, there's gonna be repercussions at some point. It makes no sense. It makes no sense because also both sides can't really afford bad PR at this point. And so I don't know. They want to keep whipping their dicks around and seeing who's as bigger. They can go ahead and do that. They need to stop fucking with us. It's getting ridiculous. I'm over. I'm over it. Seriously, cut the cord. They said it'll be so much better. They said, "Fuck that." My goodness, just some more total utter bullshit. It's amazing. It really is. It's incredible. But here we are. Here we are. None of that's gonna change. It's not gonna change. Nothing's gonna change. Which is what sucks more than anything. But it is what it is. We will see how it goes. Again, I'm not going to be surprised if we wake up tomorrow morning and everything's all figured. I'm just. Anyway, from one thing that's pissing me off to another. Um, this isn't really pissing me off. It's more just like there was a meme going around a couple months ago where it's like there's not enough stupid people in the world for me to be the smartest person in this room or something like that. Like these people in this room can't be this stupid. I'm the smartest person in the room or something like that. And the more stories that have been coming out from the NCAA, it just always feels like that. It really does. Because last week, the NCAA went ahead and approved through D1 through D3 that college athletes can go ahead and bet on professional sports. Because that's a great idea. That is a fantastic idea, NCAA. Even though for the last couple of years you've been trying to clean up the gambling issues within college sports, so your answer is to just let the kids bet on the pros. Oh my God. What genius came up with that? Seriously, like, golly, how you're getting paid by the NCAA to come up with this shit? And the worst part is that wasn't just one person. Like that came from one person that was in a committee that approved it, sent it to another committee, and then it got sent down to all the NCAA's, and they all approved it. And Greg Sankey, God bless this man for having some common sense, comes out and under the guise of the SEC and says, "Yeah, hey guys, can we maybe review this again and maybe not do this because the one thinks this is a good idea." I know, luckily they're going to take it under advisement, but why are you guys still a thing? Like, what good does the NCAA do at this point? For real, like, bro, we just went through years of different investigations into college gambling and point shaving, et cetera, et cetera. And now we're just going to blanketly let all these college athletes bet on sports? No, no, absolutely not. When you decide, when you have a career, when you have a job, when you are doing something, there are rules. There are certain rules you have to abide by in order to keep that position, whether it's drug testing, whether it's I literally a boatload of different things, not posting certain things on social media, not doing this, not doing that. Like those are the terms and conditions that you have to accept when you have that position. You have that job. The same thing should be applying now, especially with these kids getting paid. I'm joking, right? What? Because little Timmy is a little pissy that he can't go and bet on the Bills this weekend? Are you joking? You joking? No. Tell these kids, put these kids in their place. Tell them, listen, do you want to get paid to play sports or not? Okay, you do? Cool. Don't gamble. You want your schooling to be paid for? Cool. Don't gamble. Like they're just opening themselves up. They are just opening themselves up to a Pablo Torre maybe finding out some shit, and then it leads back to a college player who was teammates with this guy back at Rutgers or wherever, and now he's giving him, like, hey man, can you only shoot three threes? That's what I need, or what? Again, the NCAA, like it's a shocker they're still around, but I mean it's like a cartoon at this point. Like I almost want them to stay around just so I can see what stupid shit they're gonna do next. But that's the thing. Like, again, these are grown ass adults supposed to be handling the best interests of our student athletes, and they are setting them up for failure. What? Like, it's got to be a bunch of non-sports people, and that's always where I can get to. It's a bunch of non-sports people making sports decisions, and that's where we always get into trouble, isn't it? Always get into trouble when non-sports people decide that they need to step into the world of sports and take control. No, stay in your fucking lane. Seriously, stay in your lane. And if you aren't, and that's the same thing with the AP. It's the same thing with the AP and the top 25s and everything like that. Stay in your lane. You people don't know shit. I do not know one person in this day and age that takes the AP poll seriously, except except for SEC fans. SEC fans love their AP poll more than us. But really, though, like, I mean, fine. Ohio State, Indiana, yes, that's 1 and 2. Yeah, argument for whoever at 3, argument for whoever at 4, and then it's whatever. But again, it's non-sports people who don't give a shit enough to actually watch the games. And but AJ, they're sports writers, they're beat writers. Exactly, exactly. You want exactly like that bimbo that was over there at UCLA posting top 25s, and she has an AP vote. Get out of here. Seriously, come on, dude. And again, it's nothing against her. I bet she's a fine person and everything like that. But you told us you do not care. Like, just again, why do these people who don't give a shit about sports get into sports? I don't get it. I've never gotten it, and I'll continue to not get it. But I don't know. I guess you need a pretty face every once in a while. Makes sense to me. I don't know, but yeah, the NCAA screwed. And if that rule stands, I like, I can't see a world where that. I can't. I can't. So let's go ahead. We're going from that gambling bullshit to the NBA because the NBA, um, it's unbelievable. And I'm at a couple different points with this whole NBA gambling probe with the FBI and Operation. What was it? Nothing but net, all in, or whatever the hell it was. Bad things happen, and again, like point shaving happened. It was all caught. The NBA tried to sweep it under the rug. That shit's not happening. And now Adam Silver's got to go in front of Congress or Senate or whoever and talk about this shit because they did lie to the American people about what exactly was going on with Terry Rozier and possibly had more information on other things. But it is what it is. We will have our day on Capitol Hill, apparently. My issue starts to come in with the sports leagues affecting or trying to affect the gambling. And again, it's a very slippery, sticky slope that we are on in the world of sports leagues and gambling because sports gambling, first of all, let's go ahead and put to rest this whole bullshit that it's been like this only in the last couple of years since sports gambling has been federally legalized and now is to the states. Let's go ahead and put a pin in that bullshit that this stuff wasn't happening before. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. Offshore books existed. Las Vegas, Atlantic City still existed. Like, let's not sit here and play fucking stupid that this just started. Okay. And I'm not just saying the NBA. I'm really or college basketball. Like I'm saying that this is a possibility. But it wasn't a big. It wasn't a big thing. Why wasn't it a big thing at the time? Because it wasn't as popular. Sports media didn't talk about spreads. Every show you watched with sports content really wasn't sponsored by a gambling site or anything like that. Like it wasn't as popular, and so it didn't raise as many eyebrows. And now that it is as popular, now that it is raising eyebrows, now that there is all this regulation around it, it comes to the forefront more. Again, with all of that being said, prop bets, free throws, missing free throws, points, all of that has existed literally since the dawn of sports gambling. Like, if they could take a bet on it, the sports books were going to take a bet on it, and they do. And I think it is out of the realm of the NBA and any sports league for that matter to demand that the casinos and the gambling companies do anything different than what they're doing because that's not their job. That's not their problem. Their problem is to provide lines for the gamblers that they're interested in to wager. That is what the job of the book is, and to make very good lines at those books. They do not come to the league and say, well, hey, if we could add this to the game, well, then we can add props for this, and that would make us a lot more money. Or if we could do this in this league, we can do this. Sports books don't do that. And so, politely, Adam Silver and the NBA, keep your noses out of what I gamble on. You have no right. You have no right. And if you are worried about point shaving and everything like that, well, tighten your shit up. Seriously. Tighten your shit up. Tighten the refs up. Tighten the players up. Tighten security up. Tighten everything up. This is on you. This is on you. You do not get to run to, the big bad gambling companies and cry wolf. This is all on you, Silver, and you do not get to deflect or anything like that. And yes, is it a possibility that this stuff will continue to come up? Yeah. Yeah. You get rid of prop bets and you think all of that stuff's going to go away? You can still bet on the spread. You can still bet on the money line. You're telling me a mobster can't get in someone's ear and tell them to throw a game completely? Like, can we just use a little bit of brain when we're talking about this? And I understand Silver and the NBA are trying to cover their ass at this point the best they can. And every time they try to, Pablo Torre comes out and it's another fire for them to deal with. But again, the leagues need to worry about themselves. They don't need to worry about me as the gambler. They don't need to worry about the companies I gamble with. Let me bet on what I want to bet on. And let me watch what I want to watch when I want to watch it on the channels or all of the services I pay for. Seriously, it pisses me off. And like I tried to watch I tried to watch the Suns game the other night because I was like, all right, I want to see how the Suns are looking early in the season. Across all streaming sites. Like they were on, whatever local streaming site I would have to get for 15 weeks a season. Like, no, I'm not doing that. I digress. I mean, again, it's just so many powerful people in powerful positions making really stupid fucking decisions. And there is no way to soft code it. Seriously. Google, Disney, NBA, NCAA. The only people that haven't made a bad decision honestly, is the MLB lately. And the NHL. Shout out to them. MLB experiencing a lot of success right now with this World Series. Dodgers and the Blue Jays seeing an increase across, U.S., Japan, and Canadian markets. Life is good. Life is good. You got game six tonight. Do or die for the Dodgers. Yamamoto on the mound. His last two outings being complete games, coming in with a 1-3. A 1-1 ERA on the day. No, 1.57. Excuse me, in the postseason. So 1.57 he's coming in with against Kevin Gausman with a 2.55. I mean, this is going to be a hell of a matchup. And the bats are probably going to get flying for the Dodgers if Yamamoto can stay sharp. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. I'm very excited for the World Series. And then I got to wake up tomorrow and figure out what the fuck I'm doing at college football. Because again, am I going to go and just sit in a bar for 10 hours tomorrow? I don't really want to spend my Saturday like that. If I have to watch all the games I want to, maybe that's a sacrifice I have to make. Who knows? But wild stuff going on in the world of sports. And hopefully it all gets better soon, but it's going to have to, it feels like all of it is going to get a lot worse before it gets a lot better. And yeah, I'm talking streaming, I'm talking NBA, I'm talking gambling in general. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. But yeah. All right, that's all the bitching I have to do today. We just wanted to bitch about those things for a little bit. But other news coming out of the sports world today after Thursday night football last night, it was announced that Mike Veer, the GM for the Miami Dolphins, has been fired or they mutually parted ways, whatever bullshit you want to believe on this front. Um, that's the end of the era there. Drafted Tua, drafted didn't draft Tyreek, but Tyreek in the building, and had a pretty successful team for a little bit there, and then everything seems to be falling off. As I said at the beginning of the season, I don't think it's necessary. I think it's a whole team issue. I think top to bottom, front office is the first thing that had to go. I think head coaching needs to go next, and they just need to rebuild from the ground up. Whether that is with Tua or without Tua is going to be TBD. But I think it's a very sound move for for the Dolphins. And I will say I'm shocked that it wasn't McDaniels. They must really not have anybody in that building that they see as a solid interim that would make anything a lot better. And they're going to keep paying him, so they might as well make him work. Like I get that, but it'll be interesting to see what moves the Dolphins make. I do think McDaniels is going to be gone the season. The Rams do not, and we'll see how that goes with Tua. But I mean, again, it was just a bad, very, very bad Thursday night football game from the Dolphins against a returning Lamar Jackson. That sucks against a defense that's getting healthier with the Ravens. I mean, Hamilton all over the screen again last night, like we're used to seeing him. Um, it was a bad night for the Dolphins, and it's still going to get a lot worse before it gets better. Tyreek's out the rest of the season. Jalen Waddle is serviceable, but still, that's rough. Um, Going to be a tough time. Going to be a tough time, but I assume a lot more firings coming in the Dolphins' future. I do. I do. Speaking of firings, going to the world of college football, the AD for LSU has been fired. Post comments from the governor of Louisiana, Jeff Landry, saying essentially that I believe his name's Scott or something like that. Adam Scott, maybe. I don't remember his name. But it's not worth it. He's fired. Um, that he would not be, the AD would not be a part of the decision making process for the next head coach of LSU football, citing essentially the fact that he made this $50 million buyout. They made this decision, and now the taxpayers are on the hook for it. And I'm assuming Landry's got to be coming up for re-election or something, and that's why he made a big statement with that. But and Noah and I had a conversation about this, and I understand that it does feel like a politically motivated move. I totally get that, but I'm also looking at it from a perspective of, well, let's say I'm a stockbroker. All right, let's say I'm a stockbroker. I go to this guy, I go to my manager, and I say, hey, I think we should put $50 million on this stock. It's a good stock. I like this stock. I think it's a winning stock. My manager says, I don't know. That doesn't seem like a winning stock. And I say, well, listen, I know about winning stocks. I'm a winner. I can pick them. And he says, okay, we trust you to make this decision. You say you've got a pedigree. You have a great resume. Let's go ahead and let you make this $50 million bet on this stock. And then I bet on that stock and this stock goes to zero. I just lost the company $50 million. You think that they're going to say, hey, it's okay. Go try again. Oh, no, you lose any company $50 million, mistake or anything, you're getting, yeah, that's fine. And that's essentially what that AD had was a $50 million mistake plus. Yeah, and yeah, I'm not shocked that the guy got fired for that. Again, he had a great run at LSU. He's got a couple baseball natties, got a couple gymnastics natties, a couple women's basketball natty, I believe. Solid resume, did some good work there, but when it's in your money making sport, when it's in the biggest sport of them all, you got to really nail that one. And he did not nail that one. So that's why we are where we are with LSU. Again, I just think that if you are making a $50 million mistake, you're more than likely getting. And this was the same AD who signed that deal with Jim Montana. So that does seem a little bit like a pattern to me. This guy should be an AD. I'm just going to throw that out there. I don't know. Maybe he should try a new job. I don't know. I don't know. That's my opinion, at least. That's my opinion. Yeah. I think one other thing I really wanted to talk about today. Ooh, Springer's back tonight. That's awesome. He will be batting cleanup in game. Oh, Betts, Mookie Betts. Excuse me. Um, I don't miss this. Oh, okay. So you know what you're talking about, the whole NCAA. How the NCAA wants to let these kids bet on pro sports and how they approved all of that. Yeah. I forgot that last week the NCAA announced that they were opening investigations into potential betting violations by approximately 30 current or former men's basketball players. Hmm. So that's a again. How can people be so stupid? This isn't that hard. Don't let the kids gamble. You literally just opened a new investigation into this. But no, that's gonna solve it. Let's if they want to do it behind our back, that's the issue. We just need to let them do it in front of us so we can really watch. Genius stuff coming out of these. Big brains, big brains. Yeah, that's all I got today. That is all I got today. I should be live tomorrow morning, breaking down my bets, my best bets for college football in the top 25 tomorrow, and anything else that you throw at me in the Q&A session, we will go ahead and deep dive into all of those. And then again, live Sunday for everything NFL, getting you ready for a great day of football. It's going to be a good weekend. Even if we don't have YouTube TV, it'll be a great week. I am sure. But that's all I got today. Hey, thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. Shout out to everyone watching here on Rumble, over on YouTube and X. Y'all are the best. If you like what we're cooking, please hit those like buttons, hit the follow buttons. Does help us out a lot more than you know. But once again, with all of that being said, I'm the Brewfict One, AJ. Good luck. God bless. I'll see you next time on Degenerate Tales.